Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back to the Court of Wanderers, where we are wandering through this court. And what are we doing? I don't remember any of this. What was this? Oh yeah, I do remember this. It's the one with the magnet-shaped bit here. What was it called? Multi-use. Oh god, and then... was it... Where was, like... As you can tell, it's been a bit... I've had a bit of a break. What was up here? This is... Which one's this one? This is... I don't remember this at all. Oh, I do remember this. This is the one where I thought I was like supposed to be like using this to lift up the cube, and then that wasn't the thing. Okay. Oh, and that's where the game got glitchy as well and gave me the cube, even though I don't think I got it. This is the way back there. So the puzzle I'm supposed to be doing is over here. Did I do this one last time? What is it? It's this. Oh wait, didn't I do this forever ago, or was this actually last time? This was a nice one where I did a cascading drop of the boulders. If that was last time, it was. It's weird that it doesn't feel like it was last time, but okay, I guess I haven't done this one. What's it called? Misalignment. What is a court? Why can I see the side of those stairs? So many incredible questions today. I can see the side of those stairs because like some of the walls have like weird little slopey bits at the side of them, like rounded edges, like up here. Like this edge has a rounded edge, and so does that wall. So I can sort of see the side of the stairs. Back to the other question: a court, like other than like a court where judges are. Like, I wouldn't question it if somebody, this is a court. I'm like wondering, I'm assuming it's like kind of outdoorsy, surrounded by walls and buildings. But then what makes a court different to a courtyard? Is a courtyard always a green space and a court is not necessarily? Courtyards aren't always green though. I don't know. Don't think it matters that much. Okay, what was it called? Misalignments. There's a red cube on here. Stairs here. Get there. Done. Okay. This one looks horizontal only. And this one looks vertical only. It's hard to prove those two things because they're sort of in each other's way. But I think that's the case. And we've got a whole bunch of scary looking rotators because some of them overlap with each other. In particular, this one overlaps with that one. And then that one, it eventually gets dropped down unless I stop it from getting dropped down. But if it didn't get dropped down, it could potentially then overlap with these ones as well, or maybe just this one. If it overlaps with that one, I can probably rotate from that one. Just over here, I think. How big was that one? That was a 3x3. Okay, and it would end up like here overlapping. Well, in fact, I can even do make this bigger so I can draw on it. It would end up being here, right? And then that would rotate, this one would then rotate it to there, and it would never affect this. So I don't know if I need to worry about that at all. We also have this thing that lifts up. Is that to make that single use? I guess so. Except it's not single use, because that can go on it. Maybe that's the point. Okay, and then we have this one. Okay, so two of them are 180-degree rotators and two of them are 90-degree. So at least from this rotating, nothing changes orientation, but then from this it will. What's my goal? To get a thing here, I guess. Oh, it's so hard to visualize like where things possibly can end up. Like maybe I want to get this out of here or not. But as soon as I start like rotating this, we're gonna have problems. Like basically this ends up being on its route to fall down this hole. Of course, I could catch it. Maybe. Alternatively, I can just do this kind of stuff. So eventually I want something in this row. So that's only going to happen. Right, so I'm only ever going to get something in this row, horizontal, by putting it here and rotating it around, right? Vertical here, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, push it in here. Because if it needs to be horizontal in that row, and I can't push it vertically into that space, so it has to rotate into that space, and this is the only rotator that even takes up that space. Except for that, I guess the question is, do I catch that using one of these blocks somehow? I do not know. I do not know. So we're trying to get a thing down here. I mean, we could also just roll a vertical one like down here onto this. Now, which one is going to be that vertical? What are like the possibilities here? I mean, to begin with, there's only one possibility, which is, well, there's two possibilities. It's either step on that or push the thing onto that. Pushing the thing seems way more sensible, because otherwise that just goes up and then these two are just stuck to each other forever. That's not true, because they could push it out that way. And we've grabbed that platform, which is kind of interesting, but probably not interesting enough. Okay. So I guess the other thing is that I need something to be on this axis then. How's that going to happen? That's a good question. How is that going to happen? It needs to be coming vertically down here. It can't be like in the corner, because if it gets in the corner, then it just ends up in this corner, then this corner, this corner, never on that row. So I need something in this axis that can go vertically. How does that happen? Good question. I think this has to be involved, right? Because if sure, I can like rotate stuff around here, but to get into that thing, I'd have to push it horizontally in there. There's no way to rotate it into that space. That's not true. Yeah, that's not true at all. If I could push something horizontally onto there, then I would have something vertical here. Yeah, okay. So is it, if I can get something on this axis horizontally, we're good. But I bet that's a problem. Although, that's a 180 degree, okay. I guess this is never gonna be the thing. Oh gosh, these ones are kind of terrifying. It's just all about visualizing rotations. That's always going to do a 180 degree. Yes. This, I think, is just going to be trapped on the non-center ones. Maybe. Like, no matter where I put you, I gotta like understand that no matter where I put you, yeah, you just end up on one of these axes. In theory, you are on that axis, but you're never going to be pointing the right direction. Is the problem there? Okay. Obviously, I can bring you over here and then use this, but then that just puts you on the other non-center line. Okay, let's just experiment with like bringing the rotator with us. That means dropping a boulder in there, which is like the same kind of problem. We need something on the rotator row or column, or in the outer row or column, and going the right direction. Which, like, in theory, like could be that, but only after doing the rotation that drops that in the hole. So actually, I'm not sure I can fill that with a boulder. I think I can't. That's clearly not that. Oh, I say that, but then maybe that is the thing you have to do. Maybe loss aversion is the trap here. It's interesting that the hole for the thing to fall into is another turn away from here. Why would that be? What happens if I just like get this over here? I'm not sure this does anything interesting. And then get this into this space. I mean, it's still just going to be a horizontal. Why they do that? Still just going to be a horizontal thing. It's just gone back to that space. So basically, these two just pass the thing back and forth between them. Okay. What else can I do? If anything. I wonder if I'm only using this at the end or if it has another purpose earlier on. This bottom right rotator. It's funny how like zoomed out this game is. But then if I'm more zoomed in, I can't see it. It's because the camera also centers on the player instead of centering on the puzzle. That's the thing I did convey confusion is every puzzle had its bounds defined, and then the camera would center on the puzzle rather than the player. And then when you leave the puzzle, it would snap. Like, basically, the way convey confusion works is there's like regions, and regions might be puzzles. They might not be puzzles. They might just be the space between puzzles. And each region has its like camera behavior defined, and in some regions it was just center to the thing, which is like most of the puzzles. If you go into a corridor, it would usually actually, rather than just center on the player, it would usually like center on the like on one axis, center on the kind of corridor, like the position of the corridor, the center of the corridor, and then on the other axis, center on the player. And then in some spaces that are more open, it would center on the player in both axes. But yeah, then the camera is like always exactly where you want it to be. And showing what you want it to show. Okay, what can I do here? It's probably not that complicated, but I'm not seeing the interesting move that does anything. It might not be interesting though, that is the thing. What on earth just happened? Okay. I guess the thing falls in and then that lands on top of it. That is wild. I guess that doesn't get affected by it. I'm not sure it does anything, but it's a cool effect. I'm just like rotating that bit of floor. Is there something that could come from that? I like the way the path pattern, or like the floor patterns, are clearly like procedurally updating their. Not, it's probably just a tiling thing, maybe, or there's something more to it. I'm not sure because it's quite complex. Because like the fact that those two things don't join suggests to me it's not just basic tiling, although maybe it is. Maybe the space is kind of empty as far as the pattern's concerned. I'm not sure. Is the pattern a clue to anything? I don't think so. So that's obviously not affecting that, and I don't think it ever would affect that. Nor would it do anything interesting if that's popped out. It's not in the spaces. I mean, it's not even at the right height after doing that anyway. Does anything interesting happen from that? Could anything? No, it's just always going to rotate the floor. And just because something's on the floor doesn't mean that thing gets rotated. Plus, it won't be on the floor anyway, I guess. Well, hold on. This still doesn't do anything. But yeah, like, that's going to be unaffected by that. Okay. Now what? I'm not seeing any other actions. Is it helpful to somehow like, oh gosh, I'm thinking of like going backwards here. Well, in the direction that feels like it's backwards. Like basically over this way somehow. Although I don't know how. If I do this, then you're still on the inner edge. Inner edge, sure. The inner like circle of this thing, inner square. Circle, square, same thing, clearly. What do I do? None of these things can end up in the right orientation. You just stay vertical. You are horizontal, but you're not in the right row. How do I change that? How do I change that? I think I have to catch this somehow, but I can't catch this because I have to get something in here. And that's the same kind of problems. Right? That has the same... I mean, it is interesting that I could, in theory, just like get these two things out of here entirely. Not that that does anything useful. Like, and also I can't because I can't get this away from this after it's been on it. Without activating this, but maybe that's fine. I was going to say, it's interesting that I potentially have the option to push onto this, but I don't. You can fall there, sure. Is that useful? I think so. Could bring this back in at some point. Wait. No, that doesn't do anything. Definitely just doing random stuff right now, because nothing's popping out at me as useful. And now everything's stuck together, so that's great. Horizontal in this row means either being like horizontal in this row and hitting this, which this could be after a bunch of rotating around the middle, I guess. So wait, is that not the whole thing? Maybe that's the whole thing. But the problem is we lose access to this because it gets picked up by this when we do the rotation. Is there some way to speed up you getting back to this space? Well, that's one rotation. Well, now it's down here, but not when I need it to be. Well, so okay, so the idea I'm even suggesting there is like getting a thing here, rotating it 180 degrees here, but that means this never moves. That means that never gets hit. Unless there's some way of stopping that from moving. I don't think there is. Obviously, I could lift it up, but that's not useful because then it's gone. Unless that is useful. Maybe we're doing a thing where we lift that up, then we get rid of the... Can we like... We've done it before where we swipe out the thing and then that drops. Is it possible to do that and not lose the thing? Only if we can get a thing here. And what thing would that be? Yeah, maybe. Can I then do this? This. Okay, I'm at least having interesting ideas now. So we could catch that. Aha. That feels useful. That is useful because that does everything, doesn't it? Did I finally do it? I think I might have done it. I guess there. Whew. There was an interesting trick. It was just very hard to find. But I found it. Yay. Cool. And that's the last one of this area. And let's hope that was the theme of that area. And I never have to do those kinds of puzzles again. But there is a second half to this red area. I guess there's only 2 zones in this red area. It's kind of interesting. So do I only potentially have 5 puzzles remaining? 64. I mean, 64 is a nice number. Let's go through here just to see. Ah, but there's this section as well, which I could already go into. Ah, this is looking very full. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is how many puzzles I think I have remaining. Okay. I reckon there's either no puzzle through here or like a kind of gauntlet that doesn't give me a cube or just the, yeah, it just might be the credits. Oh, I can't go down that way. Okay, so I think this might be the last 5 puzzles. Let's go this way. Let's do this one first. Have I left any markers on my screen? I don't think I have. Okay. Oh god, this looks terrifying already. What's it called? Spooky action at a distance, okay. It's always a good thing to have in some puzzle mechanics, action at a distance. That comes from like physics, right? Spooky action at a distance. But it's also used just to, yeah, it's like used when describing like game mechanics, like puzzle mechanics that can affect things from a distance. And those are often good for creating interesting, like, kind of Sokoban style puzzles because you have to, like, well, not just Sokoban actually, it's also talks about in like logic puzzles as well, that like if you have clues that affect things at a distance, it just means that you're not always just like looking at a thing and going, oh, what can I do with that around it? No, you have to think kind of more globally about the entire puzzle space. And that lends itself to interestingness. Was that in the middle when I came in? It was. Okay. It's interesting that I care about that. I think the reason I care about that is because often the initial layout of a puzzle is like trying to communicate something to you. Like, for example, the fact that those are positioned like this, those 2 boulders, might imply that they in some way have like a kind of an equality to them, like they're going to have similar uses. Or alternatively, it might be a kind of trick to make you think that they're supposed to be treated as equals. Whereas if they were positioned like this when they came in, that would say something different, I think. That's the kind of interesting stuff about how a puzzle communicates. It's called Spooky Action at a Distance. There's a cube up there. Is that cube ever ending up in a rotator? No. No. There are 2 rotators that can be rotated, but never like, they're just to each other's place. One of them's a 90 degree and one of them's a 180 degree though, so that is interesting. And we have like a little block that we can move around. And we have that. If we do that, that'll drop in there. Okay. These are also walkable platforms, which is interesting. And then we have a set of stairs back here. So presumably we're going to end up walking over something. That is only a single drop because they can drop down to it. Okay, so if I were to place something on there, or if I were to trigger it somehow by me standing on it, I guess it'd be interesting. Is there some way for me to stand on that floaty tile and then do something that gets me back off it and that will trigger the thing to go up? That would be an interesting little spooky action at a distance, I think. Or are we just like trying to place this wall on top of it? Now the problem is the only place this wall can go after this is a 180 degree turn, which is safe. Okay, let's just like do that. Let's just ship that wall that way and see what our problem is. Probably shouldn't have put that there. Okay. Well, also that's getting in our way. Oh, wait. Did this just fall forever? Those have fallen forever. Turns out there is a void at the bottom of this place. Interesting. Let's just double check that pushing this down there doesn't do anything. Yeah, it's just gone. Okay. Wait, has that always been the case? It might have just always been the case and I've never done this. Yes, it's always been the case. Okay. Okay. So that's basically, it's not a no-op because I have swapped the 180 and the 90. Am I just trying to get that wall there, or is that a red herring? And if I get that wall there, then yeah, I can just walk over to the cube. Done. So the problem with doing that is that after the 180... I should also not forget that I can use the boulders themselves to hit the things, which is probably useful, because then we don't lose access to them. Now we can push that one south and then west to catch. Well, we don't even need to catch it because it's a. We are going to have to rotate a couple of times though. Ooh, we need more than one actually. It's getting close. But how do I make this? I think that wall is just going there. I think that is the thing here. Although, why is there a? Why is it? Why is this a platform like that? Like a floaty platform and not a normal floor? That to me sort of implies that I'm going to be standing on it myself, which could be true. Why is this here as well? That was kind of interesting. Could I get two of these, like, in here and then walk over myself, then walk back somehow? And what's the spooky action at a distance going to be? What is the spooky action at a distance going to be? Like pushing, or like rotating something so it lands on a rotator? Sure, like this does rotate the boulder as well to there, and then I can rotate it again. This is just undoing stuff though, and then I can do it again. Okay, that is true. Now, like ultimately to get you where you need to be, you'd have to do a 90-degree rotation at some point. So this needs to come back here without this getting affected. So that needs to already have been rotated out of there. Then we get the 90-degree back. Then we do the 90-degree. Okay. So let's assume that's the problem it wants me to overcome. It's like, how do I get this here and still have access to this? Interesting. By how do I do what? How do I activate this? Why doesn't it get activated when I do this rotation? That is interesting. Oh, because the rotators are getting rotated with it, of course. Does that imply that I have to go and stand on it? I don't know if pushing the first one there actually is the right thing. Maybe we just allow that to go up. No, because then I can't do the 180-degree rotation. So no, I think we do start by doing this. What about this one being me? Then it's hard for me to get back out of there. So sure, this lets me do the 180. But I can't leave. So, okay. So then we put this on there instead. But I am ultimately going to have to walk over that, aren't I? Unless, is there somewhere I can push that from? Oh, interesting. I guess I could do something weird like... No. No. Now that's gone up, and that probably isn't good. We want to go and do that 180, which I can obviously go and do. I say that. I can go and do, but then problems. Problems everywhere, problems everywhere. Oh, I can't jump into the void. Do I want to do a 90-degree rotation earlier somehow? It's not possible to get this wall out of stuff, right? I mean, obviously I can get it. I mean, maybe I want to do a 180-degree rotation first for whatever reason. And then do a 90-degree rotation? Oh, I'd have to get this out of there, I guess. I mean, it feels like the kind of starter puzzle would make you do, which is like the least convenient thing. But it's just going to drop the wall down there. So how have I gained anything by doing this? Good job. I don't think it's a red herring. I think that wall is going over there. I am very suspicious of why it's a floating block over there, though. It does seem weird. Seems really weird. Because in theory, we could even go step on it and then leave. But I don't think we're filling in these two spaces, because there'd have to be two blocks on top of each other to do that. Although it could be the wall on top of a block, I guess. Although the wall's always going to be in the corners, so that doesn't make sense, no. Okay. Wait, can't I just like trivially put that in there? Put that in there. Oh, that's the problem. I was like, wait, am I not done? Okay. Can I cheat my way to get the thing again? I don't think so, sadly. Is that why that's a platform? To like stop me from... I mean, it doesn't stop me from doing that. Like if it were a floor, I still wouldn't be able to get... like it'd be even harder to get to the cube. Because I wouldn't be able to lift that up. So I'd have to put something there. There's a reason that's a floaty platform, and I don't know what that reason is. Spooky action at a distance. Yay. Flipping these around doesn't trigger the thing because the things move with it. You can't multi-push blocks. Oh. It's interesting. Oh yeah, that lifts that up because I stepped off it, of course. There's going to be something like that that's useful somehow. I don't know how, but... But I can't go to the thing, la 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 la. Can't do the 180-degree rotation as we stand. I can't leave after this. What am I doing? I don't know. Like whatever I do, whenever that rotates 180 degrees, it's going to rotate the rotators with it. And therefore, unless I'm the thing landing on them, like obviously I can do weird things with where I land. This game's not set on an island. I've just realised that there's this path here. That's kind of curious. Is that more than curious? Oh. Oh. That is more than curious. Can I then do the 180 again? Oh, the problem is the 90 degrees has gone up now. So that's all that's happened. That's basically having no effect. Could I have avoided the 90 degrees going up? Why did I step on it? Because I wanted to push that left. Why did I want to push that left? To make the 180 degree rotation happen so that I end up over there, I guess? Was the idea. So the problem was that I lifted this up, I guess. Once that's lifted, I could do this again. Oh gosh, they've gone. Do that to be here and do this, but then the 90 degrees is gone because it lands on that. And I've just lifted that up. Okay. Is there some way to avoid that problem? I can of course swipe it out, but it's above a void, so it's always going to go. I just need a 90 degree rotation and then we're done. Easy peasy. Okay, so that needs to not get lifted up. That means I have to push the other thing onto it. Which isn't doable. Unless, did it have to be stuck where it is? No. Okay, when did that come off there? It never was on there. So that's, I think this boulder's always been the same place it currently is. Could I have done it with the other boulder? Or can I just like get this over without stepping on that middle thing? No, I can't. I can't bring it around this way either. Sadly. Okay, unless there's a secret place. I can't stand where the sign is, can I? No. Okay. Okay, so what if we... Problem is there is one up there, so I guess I could... But if I push this over here, then I have to step on this at some point. Oh gosh, that's gone. Goodbye. To get that away from that, I gotta go push it. I gotta go step on this. There's no other option. Beautiful. Okay, the fact that that path is there, though, is interesting. It is indeed. That's not what I meant to do. Although, is that interesting? That brings that down to here. That can be the one that goes on there. Oh. I guess I need to do another one of those. So I guess brings out. Take this off. Push it back on. So it's a 180 over here. Put this on here. Have I gained anything by doing this? I have no idea. Not really, because the idea was to try and get this. away from this. And even if I could get the 90-degree back over to the left-hand side, well, it doesn't have a platform to land on. I wonder if I end up using... Oh, wait. Oh dear, okay. There's another constraint here, which is I've got to leave, and there's no way up. I was thinking about these stairs because, like, oh, maybe I walk from these stairs to something, but... Well, I mean, that's still... could be, I mean, it's not going to be true because I need 3 things to walk along. Although not impossible. Ish. Like, I guess in theory I could rotate this so the 90 degrees over there and then do this and rotate that to, well, not a great position. I mean, I don't think it's likely that I'm walking for that, but it does mean I still need to have one of these available to me, which is kind of terrifying. I think that is what that's implying. Okay. I mean, that at least tells me that I don't drop them both in the hole. Okay. And therefore I don't drop either of them in the hole, because just one in the hole doesn't do anything for me. Okay, 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 okay. What do you want from me, game? You want something clever, but I'm not clever. I can't do it. I don't know how to be clever. Can I somehow, like if you had just been here and I do this, I can do that, I guess. Then bring that back. This is like real close. Could I have done that without me stepping on this? I think yes, right? So I could just do... Oh no, but I had to be there to push it at some point. Which is about to happen now. Can I... So what's my goal here? It's like to go on here, push this that way, do another rotation, do a 90 degree. Okay, so if the other boulder were also next to me, basically. Interesting. That feels like the kind of thing it wants me to do. Let's get the other boulder next to me as well. Okay, I think that is the goal. Which might just be a case then of... Oh, okay, okay. Is it this simple? Is it a case of pushing this on here now, pushing this leftwards, and then I just go stand in the middle thing and do everything from the middle? Do that, rotate around, do that. Ta-da! Maybe... Do I still have access to the boulders? Not exactly. Not exactly. Oh, like, this has got to be close, though. So this will do a 180 degree rotation. Or if I push it the other way, it doesn't make anything better. In fact, it'll just drop it in the hole now, won't it? No, it'll lift it up. Okay. Okay, how do I get out of here? This is mean. This is so mean. I'm done. That is totally like the thing he wants me to do. That's the action at a distance. I'm standing in the middle and just doing both of these things from here. Is there something else I can do from here that will do something good? I can keep rotating them around. I can go and push one of them. Oh, that's 90 degrees. Okay, that's good. Oh, I just had to get the 90 degrees back there. Okay, that's all I needed. That makes sense. Yay, I did it. Sometimes they're just really daunting, but they're actually not that complicated once you get to the actual thing. All right, let's stand in the middle of this little pattern here. All right, see you next time, folks, and we'll get started on these last remaining 4 puzzles. All right, goodbye.